Software Project Management. The topic is Critical Path Method, that's CRM. Critical Path Method, CRM. Identifying the critical path. There will be at least one path through the network that defines the duration of the project. This is known as the critical path. The critical path is the longest path through the network. Any delay to any activity on this critical path will delay the completion of the project. The significance of the critical path is twofold. In managing the project, we must pay particular attention to monitoring activities on the critical path so that the effects of any delay or resource unavailability are detected and corrected at the earliest opportunity. In planning the project, it is the critical path that we must shorten if we are to reduce the overall duration of the project. Activity float. Although the total float is shown for each activity, it really belongs to the path through the network. Activities A and C in figure each have 2 weeks total float. If, however, activity A uses up its float, then activity B will have 0 float. In such circumstances, it may be misleading and detrimental to the project success to publicize total float. There are a number of other measures of activity float, including the following. Total float. The difference between an activity's earliest start date and its latest start date is known as activity's float. It is a measure of how much the start or completion of an activity may be delayed without affecting the end date of the project. Total float, LF minus ES minus duration. Free float, the time by which an activity may be delayed without affecting any subsequent activity. It is calculated as the difference between the earliest completion date for the activity and earliest start date of the succeeding activity. This may be considered a more satisfactory measure of floating for publicizing to the staff involved in undertaking the activities. Free and interfering float. So here, total float equal to LF minus ES minus duration. B can be up to 3 weeks late and not affect any other activity, equal to free float. B can be a further 2 weeks late minus affects D but not the project end date, that is interfering float. The difference between total float and free float. Shortening the project duration. If we wish to shorten the overall duration of a project, we would normally consider attempting to reduce activity durations. In many cases, this can be done by applying more resources to the task, working overtime or procuring additional staff, for example. The critical path indicates where we must look to save time. If we are trying to bring forward the end date of the project, there is clearly no point in attempting to shorten non-critical activities. Referring to figure, it can be seen that we could complete the project in week 12 by reducing the duration of activity F by 1 week. So this is the critical path. This figure shows the critical path. Exercise. Referring to figure, suppose that the duration for activity F is shortened to 8 weeks. Calculate the end date of the project. What would the end date for the project if activity F were shortened by 7 weeks? As we reduce activity times along the critical path, we must continually check for any new critical path emerging, then redirect our attention where necessary. There will come a point when we can no longer safely or cost effectively reduce critical activity durations in an attempt to bring forward the project end date. Further savings, if needed, must be sought in a consideration of our work methods and by pursuing the logical sequencing of activities. Generally, time savings are to be found by increasing the amount of parallelism in the network and the removal of bottlenecks. Activity on arrow networks. The project scheduling techniques model the project's activities and their relationships as a network. In a network, time flows from left to right. The two best known being CPM, Critical Path Method, and Program Evaluation Review Technique. Both of these techniques use an activity on arrow approach to visualizing the project as a network where activities are drawn as arrows joining circles or nodes which represent the possible state and or completion of an activity or set of activities. More recently, a variation on these techniques called precedence network has become popular. This method uses activity on node networks where activities are represented as nodes and links between nodes represent precedence requirements. The latter approach avoids some of the problems inherent in the activity on arrow representation and provides more scope for easily representing certain situations. In the following sections of this chapter, we will look at the critical path method applied to activity on arrow networks. An activity on arrow network. The figure shows the fragment of CPM network. Activity on arrow network rules and conventions. The project network may have only one start node. The project network may have only one end node. The link has duration. Node has no duration. Time moves from left to right. Nodes are numbered sequentially. The network may not contain loops. The loop represents an impossible sequence. The network may not contain loops. Figure demonstrates the loop in a network. A loop is an error in that it represents a situation that cannot occur in practice. While loops in the sense of iteration may occur in practice, they cannot be directly represented in a project network. The network should not contain dangles. A dangling activity such as writer user manual list figure should not exist as it is likely to lead to error in subsequent analysis. Redraw the network with final completion activity, which at least in case the probably more accurate. The dangle. Using dummy activities. When two paths within a network have a common event, although they are in other respects independent, and logical errors such as that illustrated in figure might occur. Suppose that a particular project, it is necessary to specify a certain piece of hardware before placing an order for it and before coding the software. Before coding the software, it is necessary to specify the appropriate data structures, although clearly we do not need to wait for this to be done before the hardware is ordered. Thank you.